And we're set to go for this second half. 10-5, 4-9, the face of Aaron Sandilands. It's the size that's been a problem. White wins this one marginally, taken by Hazelby. Kicks it very high in the air. Peter Bell launches himself, if you don't mind. McManus gets a hand pass away. Solomon. Now Crowley from the 50. Sends it very high. Pavlich is lurking at the back. Fingertips to it by Campbell. And across the line for a behind.
Tim, I noticed Solomon just brushed Davey aside. One of the things you said when you came up was the physicality, the size of the Dockers down at ground level.
Just watching them come off the ground there, Bruce, at ground level, and I couldn't help but be impressed with the size of their players. I mean, they're built for impact football, the Fremantle side.
So Melbourne against the odds.
They just need to start this second half positively, Melbourne, to have any chance at all.
Crowley to fall forward, front spot with Hazelby, had a second crack. Solomon in the pocket on the left, sprays it a bit. Down to you, Ox.
Yeah, just a couple of key matchups. Tarrant's been picked up now by Paul Johnson. Pavlich still is being looked after by Nathan Carroll. And down on the Melbourne forward line, Mark Jamar has gone forward. He's been picked up by McFarlane. And Sylvia has been picked up by Headland, who's now gone down back.
Pickett in the back pocket. Bruce outside the defensive 50. Melbourne bring it forward. This is Ward inside the centre square. It's missed by Miller, but hands on the back. Advantage is paid. Swooping on the loose ball is Aaron Davey. Runs inside the 50. Has it got the carry? You bet. Lovely running goal.
That's exactly the start they needed to this second half. Melbourne, good sweeping play from half-back, that point kick in on that occasion, and Davey just finding some space and time again in the midfield. They've gone to a more conventional setup in their forward line. Melbourne, they had plenty of space when the ball came forward, as you'd expect from a point kick in, but they just need to get some confidence in themselves after what was a pretty disappointing second half in that second quarter.
Dennis Davies slowing up. He kicked a goal in the first 20 seconds of the first quarter. He's kicked a goal in the first 2 minutes of the second half.
I ask about the second quarter, though. Half full, half empty, Bruce.
Well, they've kicked the last 2 goals, the Demons. Uze and Davey.
It's good to see Davey return to some form. Up until this week, he'd only had the one shot at goal, one behind in 3 games, which is just a terrible return. And also his possessions have been way down on his averages of last year, but he's found some form this afternoon.
Next goal could be interesting. Bruce can't quite get it through. McFarlane, McDonald didn't get a handle on it. McManus, good tackle in the end. Had it for a long time. Jamar can't get hold of it. Hayden has to backtrack. He just gets away from Davey. Important ball. Brown kept his eyes on it. Well done.
Good pressure then on Davey. Davey on Hayden then too, just to force a hurried kick.
Just feel as if the Demons have got a little chance here. Wheatley, well done. Jamar gives it off. Could Uze do it again? Not quite. Right to the goal square. Big, big chance. Goal to Don. They've kicked 3 in a row.
It's an interesting period of time, that first 5 or 10 minutes, always in the second half. It's always about the side that comes out in the right mental frame of mind, and Fremantle probably would have been reasonably happy with the scoreline at half-time. No matter what the coach says about making sure you're not complacent when you hit the track, it doesn't always sink in with the players, and this is exactly the way that Neil Danaher would have liked his side to start this second half. They're really taking it up to Freo now.
Margin 22 points. Rick Olorenshaw.
Well, for the second time today, Ryan Crowley has been dragged in the first 30 seconds of a quarter and put on the phone to the coach. So he's obviously not in the good books there.
Can't be conditioning. Sandilands knocks it down. McDonald went after it, stealing it away. McManus, probing kick inside the forward 50. Pavlich is up, and that's a terrific mark. In fact, it's Tarrant. Done it a couple of times today.
Gee, works hard, this bloke. I was watching him in the first half at ground level. He just works right up the ground, across the ground. You know you're in for a torrid afternoon when you pick this bloke up, but just again, how critical are the centre bounce clearances? That's when you find one-on-one contests inside your 50.
And the pair working well together. Right behind Tarrant, and he comes. This one goes a long way right to left. Swung violently. He can't believe that. Don't see that too often. Chris Tarrant puts it out of bounds on the full in the opposite pocket. And Jeff White to bring it in. 67-45, early going third term, Sunday footy.
Speaking of Mrs. White's had a couple himself, an important one in that second quarter.
In trouble here. Nowhere to go.
So Carroll, you called it right, Tim. He's going to want that boundary line, and he's not going to get it. Walker, about 80 metres from goal. He can set up here and go short to Bell, just outside his range.
Gee, they did that well, Freo, the way they pressed then.
So a patient Bell. What a career he's had. Just fantastic. The whole story and the quality of the play. And there he goes. He kicks it out on the full. Dennis, you just knew that was going to happen, didn't you?
Well, the odds are good.
Sylvia's free here.
And Bruce will make it a bit difficult, but it was a good kick, and Sylvia found it, and now White
decides to have a bounce. An aggressive one as it turned out. Sandilands corrals him. White lost the advantage then. Bounces one down to Green, who's tried very hard on the forward line. Kept it alive. Socket forward out there by Miller. Chance for Sylvia, who's run on. Claimed from behind by Dodd. Black taken down by Pickett. That was a strong tackle. Brown goes over the top, and the umpire decides that he will ball it up about 25 metres from goal. Quick transference.
Sorry, Dennis, they still believe they can win this game, Melbourne. They've attacked this second half in exactly the right frame of mind. They've been ferocious around the contest.
McFarlane knocks it down. Hazelby feeds it back. Carr finds Hayden in the shadows. Hayden decides to go. Matthew Carr is running hard and gets there. Just inside the boundary line. Pavlich and Tarrant again off a leads. Well, trying to get it to Tarrant. Carr kicks into the man on the mark, Bruce, and it trickles about 10 metres and runs out of bounds at the interchange gates.
Again, the signs are good for Melbourne. Their concentration is spot on.
That sign not good for Fremantle as the veteran goes off, Shane Parker.
Headland comes back on along with Webster, who kicked 3 goals in the opening half. McManus has been good in the clinches. Hazelby really good to Hayden. To Matthew Carr, missed the target. Grover did very well. He kept his head over the footy. And then Headland squeezes one out. Bizzle goes. Had to do better. Had to stop it at least and keep his feet. Tarrant to Carr. Carr goes bang and finds Sandilands, who strolls in, lopes in and kicks the goal.
That mark then that Bizzle attempted just had to stick. This is the one that just had to stick, because what had occurred behind the scenes then were all the Melbourne players had actually started to move forward already into an attacking motion, and that was Jamar, who was deep, and sorry, it's Johnson who was deep there picking up Sandilands, but they all moved into an attacking position.
The big guy strikes. Let's go down to Rigola Renshaw.
Injury problem for Fremantle. Shane Parker's just gone off with a left groin injury. He's currently getting work done on it by the physio.
The veteran sidelined. Carr, McManus, long kick from behind Pavlich.
Dennis, that's a replay of what happened at the last centre bounce clearance to McManus to Pavlich, and that's as easy as you will find bringing the ball into your forward line. Fremantle 6 clearances in this third quarter. Melbourne are yet to have a clearance. Now, that hasn't been reflective on the scoreboard, but if that's to continue to happen, then the Freo side are going to set up a lot of scoring opportunities.
Marks inside the forward 50. Fremantle 16, Melbourne 5. Pavlich has 5 alone for the Dockers. Right behind him, 2 posters to his credit today. Kicks his 3rd goal.
He's such an influential player, Matthew Pavlich, and they did the right thing, Fremantle, just to take a little bit of pressure off him. They chased Tarrant hard. They got their man. He's been good today, Tarrant. Not just so much in the goals he kicks, but he's actually good at setting up the goals, Tarrant. And he just creates space because of the way that he moves across the forward line too. And Pavlich, when he plays deep, is able then to move into that space and that vacuum that's created.
So order restored, isn't it? What we had at half-time, basically. Back to that 5 and a bit goal margin.
Free, Melbourne. No, got him in the side of the head first. Thank you.
I want you to think about one, Dennis. Is Pavlich the best footballer in Western Australia or the second best? Uze's kick out wide.
Heads are bobbing. It's a photo finish.
So Bate about 60 metres out. Centering ball in the sun. Can Melbourne take a mark inside the 50? The Dockers have been doing it. Jamer, Uze. He's having a day out, Uze.
Actually, I can't split them, Bruce, because I'd never get another horse payment from one.
I thought about that. Judd and
Definitely going in hard. Now, the umpire said that was in the head. He actually didn't make contact with his head. He made contact with his back, so it was still a free kick.
Fair enough. Black. McFarlane around the outer side.
Look at Tarrant go.
Sylvia went a little quicker on the angle. Didn't have the distance to go. Now Davey runs forward of the wing, takes the mark. Brown is on towards the middle. He's got it now. 75 metres from goal. Brown sets it up. Camped in front. Down there was Miller. Had it knocked away. Goes again. Well played by Dodd, aided by a good Shepherd. Still under pressure, Fremantle. Eventually, McFarlane got it across to Solomon. Finds Walker. Matthew Carr wants it in the middle. McManus is running hard. Hayden has it. McManus is still on. It goes in that direction now. Turns around. Tarrant was there. He did play on. Forced to come back as a result. Didn't make the most of that opportunity, Freo. Hayden's got it now. Comes to Bell. Bell swings it wide, is still to Crowley. Back on the ground. Crowley with Pavlich on the move, goes in that direction. He attracts a crowd, as you'd expect, lurking behind Bruce. Tried to find a way through, gave it to Carroll. Bruce, I think, will get a free kick. Held too long in the tackle. That's not you, Bruce.
It's the Cameron variety, playing his 150th. He finds Uze.
You were moving, though, weren't you?
I was love to have a kick out there. It's the only way I'd get one. Sandilands to Webster, who kicked 3 in the first half. Lovely kick. And that man again.
It was in the contest. I did in the contest. Okay. Thanks, Mark. Thank you.
Now here's one for you, Dennis, with Pavlich. I know you're a member of the fan club. The only team he hasn't kicked more than 3 goals against in his career is Melbourne. Now, he's about to rectify that, you would think.
He's played a couple of classic games against Melbourne from memory. I'd like a marking tally in one game. I reckon it was in the teens. But he didn't finish it off, obviously, that day.
So does he get his 4th? Kicks from 50. Good looking kick. It's home.
The defenders cop it in the neck, but if there's this little pressure on the ball going forward, just watch this. Good handball here by Sandlands just to clear the ball then to Webster. If there's no pressure on that kick, there is no chance that any defender in the competition is going to be able to stop that. So you need to fix up that part of the game. This bloke will kick 15 goals in a game if there's that little pressure on the ball up the field.
And Josh, our man with the numbers, tells me Pavlich took 13 marks round 6 2005 against Melbourne, but finished with 1-2. Don't know what happened there. Obviously leading well up the ground. I think they won that game from memory as well. White battles after it initially. Gilmore in the opposite direction. Still Gilmore. Side foots it out of there. Well done. Crowley head down, got through. Kicks towards the 50. Bounces inside the 50. Pavlich once more to Hazelby. Hazelby sets it very high towards the pocket. Now a chance for the Dockers. Headland, who's been terrific this afternoon, wheels around, deserving of a goal. Off target. Bounces through for a behind. Now Des Headland to half-time had 19 possessions. What's he up to now? 21, his career high. In fact, only once in his career has he gone over 30 for Brisbane against Port Adelaide, the preliminary final of 2002. He's on career best pace right here.
So Green gets it. He is having a good day, isn't he, Headland, after everything that he endured during the week. Long kick by Green, and Dunn running onto it, and Dunn goes through and kicks his third. Well, Tim, at least they've got the scoreboard ticking over in this quarter, Melbourne. That's the first step.
That's right, and that's as much as what Neil Danaher could expect of his team in the second half of this game. And this is the second time in this quarter they've actually scored a goal from a point kick in as well. So they've got that part of their game pretty right. I reckon this bloke gives you a lot of life, Dunn. I know that you know, he still has some rough edges, but I think Neil Danaher just has to continue to play him.
Chris Connolly played 84 games for Melbourne. This guy has played more in the AFL. Shane Parker made his debut against Fitzroy at the Western Oval. Say no more, round 3, 1995. They sound like Marty McFly in Back to the Future. There's a chance for Black at centre half back. Bate takes him down, holding the ball is the call, nothing doing. Well, there is something doing.
You just can't hatch over it.
Wow.
No, you had the chance. You're up on the ground, then you went straight to ground. On top of me. No.
I think that's a valid point. Bates got it. 60 metres from goal, sends it down towards full forward. Jamar was held. In any case, he took the mark. That was very strong play by the giant Melbourne player.
Walker's picking him up at the moment, so they just haven't been able to shuffle themselves quickly enough. That's a mismatch. Just watch this. Just strength just completely did him there. That's a great mark, though. That's a good, strong, contested mark.
5 minutes, please, mate. Yeah, I'll get him too.
Mark Jamar with his side down by 34 points. Oh, doesn't fill you with confidence. His first kick of the afternoon coming up. A man who doesn't need to practice much. In he comes. Goal umpire goes a fair way, but it's a goal.
Well, coming into this game, and Neil Danaher's planning, and with just watch this tap there for Jeff White. That's just a beautiful palm of the ball. That's one of the few times they've been able to clear. Good tap on there by McDonald as well. Coming into this game, Neil Danaher would have been hoping that with the combination of Jamar in the forward line and also Jeff White, that they may have been able to produce maybe 4 or 5 goals between them. Just the one so far this afternoon.
So 4 goals, 1 to 3-3 in this third quarter. Melbourne in front of the set of clearances. McDonald doing very well. Freo had the big run in that second term. Davey ridden into the ground. Pickett. McDonald. Terrific year last year. He gets the footy so much. Bruce never seems to let his side down. Well, Bell back. Gee, it's good to see him back because he copped a nasty one, even though it was accidental in that first half. Brown running. Can Melbourne challenge again out wide to Uze? And Uze again does something very clever. He loves doing something out of the ordinary. Miller, Dunn ridden into the ground. Bate left foot. What a goal. Adam Uze, take a big bow.
He just kept the ball alive, which was a clever thing to do. It just looked like it was going to roll over the boundary line and be a dead play. And just watch this. He does do the miraculous Adam Uze. Look at this. Just bang, just kept the ball alive. And that's such a dangerous kick there. They got one-on-one contest deep in their forward line. Probably I'm not sure how Dunn got rid of the ball then, but it doesn't matter. That's a great result for Melbourne.
Adam Uze making a mockery of the world game. This ball isn't round. Remarkable stuff. Has a background in soccer. On the boundary, something out of nothing. Jamar defiantly slaps it forward. Melbourne have ratcheted things up. Hazelby out to Crowley. Inside the forward 50, Tarrant surrounded, had it punched away. Arriving quickly was Headland. Taken high, he'll get the free. Great courage from Des Headland.
I've never seen Des Headland play a better game than he's playing this afternoon.
No, he's a man on a mission. Just outside the 50. The adrenaline is pumping. The kick is floating. It's a goal.
I can't understand why the crowd here, and it's only a modest crowd, are giving him the Bronx cheers this afternoon. He's just been an outstanding performer. And he started this. David Schwartz spoke about the fact that he'd gone to half-back. What he was doing is they were just sending him back there, just waiting to see whether or not he was going to draw a tag or not. And when Chris Connolly realised that he wasn't going to get a tag, then they pushed him back up into the midfield.
First goal for the season for Headland. It was a beauty, wasn't it? Let's go down to Ricky Olorenshaw.
Hard to believe it. Melbourne have got more injury problems. Paul Wortley come off a few minutes ago with a shoulder injury. He was in a lot of pain. He told the doctor he couldn't lift his arm up, so they've only got one fit man on the bench.
Did you bring your shorts, Rick?
There's no good me coming out of retirement.
Hazelby hacks it out of the air. What a good quarter footy we're watching, though. Plenty of goals at both ends of the ground. First quarter started a bit like this. This is even better, I reckon.
Very much so. Very open Fremantle forward line too. They have had a free player across half-back Melbourne, but they've elected not to. Maybe just in the shuffle with Wheatley going off the ground, they're reorganising themselves.
Crowley to Bell. Wide to Dodd. Runs off the mark, and then good-looking kick. Pavlik's front spot. Three around him as usual. Johnson. Sylvia. Good kick, Johnson. Now Uze very short.
Oh,
it's a terrible kick. That's awful. But Uze wraps Mundy up. He's having a good match, Uze. McDonald got a tie one.
You've got to be a fair tackle. That's not a fair tackle. No, you've got to be on the head. Free kick here. Come on, give it up to him.
And probably were about 4 free kicks there before the one given, to be truthful, but it was in close quarters.
It was just that poor kick by Sylvia that set them up too.
Missed the target. Didn't Hazelby's kick. Melbourne getting numbers back, and again a boundary throw in. So there's the flood on with the vacant Melbourne forward line. They just, Dennis, haven't been able to get one extra goal to get some real scoreboard pressure on.
You're quite right. Sandilands backhands it down. McDonald falling to the ground, away to Ward, kicks it up towards the wing. Hayden did well. Stepped around his marker there, Uze, and took it. Uze thinking about going for a header. Now, that should be a free kick unless it's the Fremantle runner. Whose runner is that? Identify him. Bate gets a hand pass across to Green. Back to Bate.
Melbourne's runner.
Well, that should be a free kick.
Of course it should.
Ball goes down inside the forward 50. There's a push in the back down there. It's coming to Dodd. And now 50, is it?
Yep.
50 minutes for kicking the footy away too.
I think McManus is making the point. A bit going on the ground. McManus is talking to the umpire Avon, about a free kick. And if a player is interfered with by a runner, then I'm sure that should be a free.
That's what, there's Sandler just crashing into the run. Now, the umpire should blow the whistle then and just find out for a start whose runner it is and award a free kick to the opposition if indeed it is the opposition runner.
That's right. So the runner perhaps had the message that he took out into the ground. He's Melbourne's runner. There you go.
Do you think, Dennis,
he's not happy, the runner?
He's annoyed. Do you think the fact that running out of players is the reason he's on there?
I think the message was man up on Sandilands. He took it literally. There's McManus. Got it from Walker. Clever. Now Matthew Carr's got it. McManus once more on the overlap. 50 metres out, not his best effort. And White takes the chest mark.
It's been a frantic quarter, hasn't it?
And you think that's going to really tell too on Melbourne, because they don't have the rotations off their interchange that Fremantle have. So you would expect that Fremantle at some stage in this third quarter are going to get right on top of Melbourne. It might only be for a 5-minute period, but you would think that Melbourne are going to get tired at some stage of this quarter.
And that was a tired-looking kick. Ward's kick out wide, and he had Brown on his own. So the Demons really struggling in terms of their players, and with the interchange, you can see the difference there, 17-7. They're just running out of people. And remember, they had a couple out prior to the match, Johnston, Maloney, and the long injury list with Robertson and Neitz in particular, and McLean.
And it might be worth Neil Danaher just saying to his players, don't push so far up the ground, because that is tiring in itself. Just stay at home for a 5 or 10 minute period of this quarter, just so that we can just settle things.
Godfrey, haven't seen a lot of. Bell again getting one around the head.
Stop. Front-on contact here. Really? Yeah, it was.
Well, it's a bonus that Bell's back, to be truthful. Bruce's kick smothered by Headland. Oh, White in trouble. McManus just manhandled him, and Desi can go for another one.
Done.
Oh, what a difference a week makes.
He has just had an afternoon out. I don't think I've seen him play this well since probably he was in the Brisbane Lion colours a couple of times, when he was just the bloke who was doing a lot of the finishing for him. I'm not sure whether or not that was a free kick or not then to White. I mean, but there's Desi's celebration. He's very pleased with what he's been able to produce this afternoon. And I think Chris Connolly would have been happy the way he's responded to.
Well, maybe Melbourne should have appealed that tribunal decision. 15, 8, 9, 10. 34 points the margin. It was 32 at the major break. Headland, one for the highlight reel this afternoon. Down goes Josh Carr, head first. Walker, Hazelby's got a lot of the football. Sandilands on the overlap with the outside of the boot. Webster has been very good as well. Close to the boundary, feeds it back to Bell. Walker, Bell's got it. Forward of the wing, kicks inside the forward 50. Pavlich, here's trouble. Pavlich tried to lay it off. Well done by Brown. Now Green and Carroll. Is it left half back? Carroll. No one really to kick it to. The players down the ground. A man up, but Uze somehow got in there and grabbed it. Sees Sylvia. Chasing back is Sandilands. Sandilands trying to cut him off. Sylvia goes towards full forward. Coming up the ground is Dunn. Tracks it back, Dunn. There are 3 dockers around him. He needs support. It's not forthcoming. McManus been everywhere in this turn. Dodd, well done, Dunn. Pardon? Down goes a man in the square. That was Miller. They had a half chance there. Behind. That was terrific by Dunn to keep that ball alive. Outnumbered 2-5 down there. The Demons almost got a goal.
Grover just went into his back then. The momentum just took him forward. That had to be a free kick. In fact, I think they probably missed 2 then. These are a lovely set of figures, Bruce. Headland, 23 possessions, 8 marks, 9 inside 50, 3 scoring assists and 2 goals this afternoon, and we're not even at 3/4 time yet.
I reckon Dennis is going to get his record today. He's onto that.
Yep.
Carr. Yeah, there were a couple of free kicks back there, and Miller was the last of them, but Sylvia, who's just always, I reckon, a half a stride too slow to get rid of it. He had Pickett on his own, and he put himself under the gun. McFarlane, Pickett terrific, held it up. Melbourne looking for a loose ball here to get a goal. Dunn's been outstanding.
Isn't he hard? He's hard and strong. I reckon what's happening with Sylvia, when you step up into the next level of football, he's been playing VFL, it's just the pace of the game that can get you.
Just feel he gets disorientated at times. Doesn't have that feel for players around him. Davey, it's his first match for this season. Green, inboard Brown, Green. Can Bruce conjure? Not quite. It's a hot footy. McManus to Walker, and now the Dockers away. Solomon's got a paddock, and his mate Tarrant goes quickly for him. He decides to go long. It's going to be in safe hands.
Contact. Turn around. Had his arms up. No, no contact in the front of him. Don't have to, Nathan.
Just watch this.
Gee.
Oh. That's a bit tough. That's a bit tough. Probably pulled down his arm in the end. He did make front on contact.
Did a good job, Carroll, because Pavlich was always going to mark it.
It was a good kick too coming in, wasn't it?
Kick 5 in the opening round. It was a good kick, and he kicked 5 in the opening round, Pavlich, and makes it 5 today. See what the vote, your top 4 at the end of the match are going to be interested in, Tim. There's a few that could put their hand up today. And that one's, Pavlich is one of them.
Yeah, no, he's been good. What should have happened then, though, with Carroll and also Johnson? Johnson is on Tarrant. They should have actually shuffled as the ball was coming in, because as it was, Johnson should have stayed and played on Pavlich, and Carroll could have pushed forward on the lead, and he wouldn't have had to turn around and come back in a situation like that. It's just about communication.
I mentioned his stud, Matthew Pavlich. He's certainly that. 5 goals. Been the difference between these sides this afternoon. Along with Sandilands, there's Green to Bruce inside the forward 50. Can't fault Melbourne in the last 10 minutes for their application. Hazelby stood up in the tackle to Black. A very high kick from behind. White launches himself. Could have been interference to Sandilands. Taken by Brown. Jabs it as far as Bate. Bates away. Sandilands, a willing worker chasing. Kick down towards the pocket. Dunn, like him a lot, tracks the ball away from goal. Again lacking support. Arriving quickly, Webster bounces off Miller. Mundy towards half-back. Now Hayden can run. Kicks it out wide to Bell. Bell can carry the ball inside the 50. Pavlich is running back. Beautifully angled kick. What a wonderful kick on the siren. You can't beat good timing. So Pavlich for number 6 after the siren. And talk about a kick being, dare I say it, centimetre perfect. It was from Bell, just over the groping hand of the Melbourne defender. Straight through the middle. Makes it hard for Melbourne now. 110-65, 3/4 time Sunday football at the G.
Well, Melbourne came out, they were fired up, but they just haven't got the cattle out there at the moment, and they haven't got the fit players to rotate through their interchange. Fremantle just finding plenty of space and plenty of free players on the counter-attack, and that was the difference when they were challenged.
Get the feeling the first win for the Dockers is 30 minutes away. 17-8, 9-11.